Konnichiwa, and welcome to the 390th podcast of the NC Rowan County Anime Group. My name is Robert Clyon. I'm currently the president of the group. To use a quote from a non-animated series called Farscape and the character Scorpius, unique is always highly valued. And today's podcast is kind of special because I'm dedicating this to Brent Newhall and Otaku Video. Recently, Brent did a podcast and said he was wrapping up. He did everything that he could do with the show, and I can understand his feelings somewhat. A long time ago, I used to run an Doctor Who fan club called the Lost Colony TARDIS for several years, and then we changed gears and became the Cliffhanger Society, and I ran it for 2 years. So after I felt like I did my stint, I left fandom and started working on my art career. Now, getting back to Brent always tried to do a very good professional job in his podcasting. I always enjoyed watching his podcast. He would put up things about animes that were very rare that I had never even heard about. He also talked about Japanese singers like Naomi Musiki, which I didn't know her name at the time. Didn't know she was a voice actress, and she was also a singer. And it was thanks to Brent that I got to learn so much. Malice Dolls was one of his best podcasts I ever thought he'd done. And I recently, back at Ichiban Con 4, got a chance to show people his excellent work during a Mixed Bag of Fun panel that I did at Ichiban this year. And I also, too, at times donated or dedicated podcasts and also to panels to Brent Newhall because I've always admired Brent for his outstanding work. And we will miss him, believe me, people. If anybody who is wanting to do a podcast, if you want to set up a bar of a high standard, use Brent as your guide, because Brent always did a fine, outstanding job. To use a quote from Dr. Seuss, do not cry because it ended, smile because it happened. And I'm glad that I got a chance to be with Brent. During one particular podcast that comes to my mind, my handle was Mr. Artist 24, and I was telling some people during that podcast that Americans do believe in team-up books. I talked about the Justice Society of America, the X-Men, Flash Gordon, and I showed them that yes, Americans do believe in teams. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this podcast, and Brent, thank you for all you've done for us over the years. Goodbye.